Yes, it is like the Mormons. The Mormons can't be regular polygamists because the United States don't recognize two wives at the same time. But they can have church weddings, and they do have church weddings, where I could marry you in the church, 3 women in the church. The state can't do nothing, but I can't marry 3 women in Utah from the state, because the United States has said, by virtue of court decision, no polygamy. When Wallace said that Elijah had had the intercourse with Malcolm's girlfriend and she had gotten a child for his father, that's when the thing started. As to whether or not anything else happened, that's the first time, and it remained dominant in Malcolm's mind. That the minister had lost his trust. He had lost his trust in the minister when the minister did that. He figured, not that.
Back at the house, Malcolm's head was spinning. The more he thought about all the unsuspecting brothers and sisters that he convinced to join the Nation of Islam, his head spun even more. When Malcolm joined the Nation of Islam in 1948, the organization barely had 400 members. When Malcolm became a minister around 1952, the nation's membership really started growing. By 1953, membership doubled. Malcolm was such a dynamic, attractive, and gifted orator, he could have read the telephone directory to standing room only. Now, uppermost in Malcolm's mind, he wanted to alert all the brothers and sisters that they were being manipulated by an organization he felt had no intentions of seriously taking on the power structure.
But the only one who did get up and speak was Brother Benjamin. And since I always take notes at all these things, I took all the notes right up to the moment that the diversion took place. Well, of course, then, when that happened, I mean, it was unforgettable. It was just a combination of, well, history being made. It was one of the greatest losses to the black liberation struggle. It was a moment where I think Malcolm used to always talk about the truth. Here was a moment of truth that showed that the struggle was not just about going to meetings and stuff, but that all the things that you don't always talk about, but that is the focal point of struggle, is when something like this happens.
When Malcolm pulled back the curtain, he discovered that Elijah Muhammad wasn't the divine man that he had projected himself to be. Elijah's claims of divine power were never actually demonstrated nor challenged by his followers. Criticism of the great and powerful, most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of God, was strictly forbidden. Malcolm had dared to question Elijah's teachings that were surfacing as pure humbug.
Well, we had, I myself, I had that the income tax, the was getting down. Income tax people was getting down on Muhammad. And they had already started and he was feeling the pressure. So when Malcolm said the things about the different things about what was going on, he was warned to keep off the subject. He didn't keep off the subject. And the income tax people put the pressure. They were putting the pressure on Elijah. Elijah succumbed to that pressure and punished Malcolm. And we felt that Elijah punishing Malcolm was succumbing to the white man pressure.
I said that his officials and his family there in Chicago were the ones who were jealous. And I only tried to protect his image because it was his image that enabled his followers to have such strong faith and exercise the moral discipline that they displayed. And as long as I thought that the Muslim movement represented a force that could reform the morals of the Negro community, I could represent it as such. But we had a strong law which dictated that any Muslim who became involved in any kind of sexual activity with anyone to whom they weren't married, they were brought before the Muslim community and humiliated and then isolated or sentenced out of the Muslim community for from 1 to 5 years. Well, in 1954, a teenage sister left Detroit and became one of Mr. Muhammad's personal secretaries.
The function of the front rostrum post was to alert, this is in the nation, and this was transferred over to OAAU, was to alert about anything that was going on in the audience. In the nation, we had never had to worry about protection from a fusillade of bullets because nobody had no guns. This is why the fundamental error was made in not checking everybody. And this was Malcolm's decision.